Intermittently throughout my life, or more recently perhaps, I have gotten a little demoralized, or demotivated rather, because I've come to the realization that everything in life is rented. You don't actually own anything. Anything you can own isn't really pure. Take a good physique. A good physique, you could be eating right, but if you don't maintain it by going to the gym, you're going to lose it. Vice versa, if you keep going to the gym but you don't stick to your diet, you're not going to retain the physique. Anything you own outright has to be something which you create. When you rent a property, that is the definition. You're renting it. You don't actually own it. You're the tenant, the core tenant. But if worst comes to worst, you're kicked out. Even if you own the property, the government can just take it. They have the authority and the jurisdiction to do so. Now, this thought construct can be demotivating, but what you have to remember is everyone's in the same boat together. So if we take this thought construct and apply it in a comparative sense, in a comparative manner, we can see that because everyone else is in the same boat, they're having to undergo the same tribes and tribulations as you are. No one in this world can have a 10 out of 10 physique without any work. Of course, there are factors out of your control and biases which influence how easily things can be achieved through genetics or early lifestyle factors which decide how your body looks, functions, and feels later down in life. Nevertheless, we are all in the same boat. We're all having to do stuff so that we can keep existing, okay? When you see Instagram and you see everyone's highlights of the holidays they went on, you've heard this many, many times. You're seeing the best of the best, the absolute 0.01% of people's lives. Even the people who spend the best lives on Instagram may lead lives of total destitution outside of it. When I was home about a week ago, I was watching a documentary with my mum. It was about a singer called Avicii. Avicii, from what I remember from the documentary, had a pretty similar upbringing to me. He was pretty obsessed with playing video games, and he didn't really have much life experience. So when he went global with his amazing music, it was almost too much for him to handle. The concept of progressive overload is applicable to everywhere in life, and it's directly linked to the idea I've been talking about renting. When I say you rent your existence, I mean you have to go to the shops so you can eat, so you can rent the life that you're leading. You're renting your body through the food. Because wouldn't we all just rather not be able to eat? I mean, sure, food tastes nice, but if you could just not eat, imagine the time you'd save, the things you'd be able to do. It's the same with sleep. Sleep is another act of renting your existence. No one can live a life without sleeping. Who knows, maybe the Russian sleep maybe the Russian sleep experiment is real, but no one can live an existence without sleep. Why? Because once again, it's a fundamental function of us being given the privilege to use this body, our bodies. You drink water, that's another form of rent. All these basic human survival instincts, almost the epitome of existence. And you can boil it down to the really basic functionality of it, of biology, of reproduction, of simply the end goal being to reproduce, to have sex. But once you get above level 1 or even level 0, you start to realize that the way people are filtered out is not through some major transformation that someone else or some group of people can undertake, but rather it's simply the consistency and the determination of a select few who are able to rent their lives in such a well thought out way that while everyone else gets dragged down, they stand still, absolute. Think of it like this. You have the middle ground. Everyone starts on this level. Of course, there's a few differences through genetics and objective advantages and disadvantages. But in this cold and cruel world, there's no upper echelon. There's only the middle level and the lower level. See, the rent of life is almost the devil tempting you to relax, to slack. And if you comply, the devil will, day by day, drag you down from that middle layer, drag you down. Those people who can stay on the middle level, the people who can rent so well, are rare in the fact that they know they're not getting anything more, but they know they're not becoming the fat, depressed, lonely motherfuckers on the bottom of this structure, which you'd be surprised there are more than you think. In fact, everyone you see is survivorship bias. That is the filter. No one sees the people stuck in their room all day, the people who order their food, they don't even go out to get food, the people who have a pile of clothes which they move onto the bed when they're awake, and they move back onto their computer chair when they want to go to sleep. Their only love has been their right hand their whole entire life. They've never felt the loving touch of a woman or an encouraging brotherly touch of a man. If there's anyone who's living that sort of existence, take what I've said and try and form your life around it. It doesn't mean you have to become some amazing creative magnate, but what I'm saying is life is almost this constant erosion of you, and the human spirit is being able to push that away, to push away the sediment in the wind, the waves on the cliff, where you can stand your ground and be a beacon of human relatableness. instead of being lost to the void of destitution which millions and millions of men and women find themselves in today. I woke up this morning and I just thought, let me turn on the camera. There are those days where I just want to turn on the camera. There's no structure to the video, but I just want to speak. I want to speak so I can review how I speak and tailor my speaking to be more engaging and better flowing. I didn't have an idea about what I'd say, but having the mere belief that you can speak creatively, compendiously, is very powerful. You almost don't need a plan. You can just click record and your subconscious will do the rest. I hope you enjoyed this video.